Hey everybody, welcome to the Wolfe Pit. Today I'm going to show you how to butterfly, stuff, and cook a moist and tender pork loin with apple and raisin stuffing along with sweet onion gravy. It's easy, it's delicious, and anyone can do it. So let's get started. Today I'm doing a holiday video collaborations with a few of my other YouTube cooking friends. Chef Steph from Classy Cooking with Chef Steph, JP from Healthy Junk Food, and Kate from In the Kitchen with Kate. There will be a link to all of their channels at the end of this video, so make sure you check them out. You'll be happy you did. Now I'm going to get started on the apple raisin stuffing by melting a half a stick of butter. Now I'm going to add half a cup of each finely diced onion and celery. I'm going to saute these for 2 to 3 minutes until they begin to soften. Now I'm going to add a half a cup of diced Granny Smith apples and a 1/4 cup of raisins. Now I'm adding a little bit of rubbed sage. If you don't have sage, you can use poultry seasoning. And a little bit of cinnamon. The cinnamon and apples really go good with the pork. And a little salt and pepper. Now let this saute for about another minute or so. You don't want to cook it down to where the apples become mush. And now I'm going to add a 1.5 cups of chicken broth. Now I'm going to bring this to a boil. Once it reaches a boil, I'm going to turn the heat off and add 2 cups of stuffing. I'm going to mix this around and then let it sit until all the liquid is absorbed. Now set aside and let it thoroughly cool. Now I'm going to trim and butterfly the pork loin. Usually pork loins are very lean. This one happens to have a big piece of fat on the top, so I'm just going to trim that down a little bit. So now I'm going to start butterflying the pork loin. And the first thing you want to do is make sure you have a sharp knife. And then what you want to do is just make the first cut straight down the pork loin. And as you can see, I keep turning the pork loin back and forth. And that's just to make it easier to cut and get at a good angle and keep it on camera. And as you cut, you just make small cuts. You cannot mess this up as long as you make small cuts. And as you cut, unroll the pork loin until it's flat. Now the pork loin is laying nice and flat. I'm going to liberally season with salt and pepper. And now I'm going to add a nice even layer of the stuffing. Now you want to make sure you only cover about 3/4 of the pork loin, otherwise when you roll it up, all the stuffing is going to come out. Now just start rolling it up as tight as you can. Now once you have it all rolled up, take a piece of butcher's twine and start it off at one end with a square knot. And now simply make a loop, slide it down the roast, pull it tight, and continue doing that until you get to the end. Once the loin is tied up nice and tight, season with salt and pepper. Now I'm going to add some vegetable oil to a heavy pan over medium heat. And now you want to brown all sides of it. And make sure you have a pan that it fits in. I could have sworn I measured this before I cut it. Now this goes into a 325-degree oven for about 1 hour and 15 minutes or until it reaches 140 degrees. Now in the same pan with the rendered pork fat, I'm going to make a sweet onion gravy. I'm going to add half of a Vidalia onion that I've finely chopped up. I'm going to cook the onions down for about 3 minutes until they begin to soften and caramelize. Now I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of flour. Now mix it in with the pork fat and the onions. Cook it for about 2 to 3 minutes. And now I'm going to add chicken broth. Now mix the broth into the flour, bring it to a boil, continue to stir until it thickens. Once it's thickened, go ahead and turn the heat off, taste for seasoning. I added a little bit more salt and pepper. After resting for 20 minutes, I removed the butcher's twine, and now I'm going to slice the pork loin. And you don't want to cut these too thin, otherwise they're going to fall apart. So depending on how many people you're feeding, you want to cut these about 3/4 to 1.5 inches thick. And there you have it, pork loin stuffed with apple and raisin stuffing and sweet onion gravy. If you like this and it looks like something you try at home, please give me a thumbs up. If not, tell me why. And please don't forget to stop by and see my friend JP at Healthy Junk Food, Chef Steph at Classy Cooking with Chef Steph, and Kate from In the Kitchen with Kate. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you give this a try, and I'll see you next time.